Hello and welcome back to Haven and Hearth. So, we are very near the end of winter already. Winter doesn't last long. It only lasts, a few days real life. It's just 15 days in game, which, yeah, makes it like, I want to say that means it's like 5 days real world. We're almost to the end of it already. So I'm going to go ahead, come out here. Now you can see I've cleared some snow, and I've stacked it up over here in a stockpile. And if you were paying attention and looking at my crafting area down there, you can see I have fruit sorbet, which requires snow as one of the ingredients. I'm thinking about going ahead and making some of it. Now, I could make it with grapes, but I'm relatively certain that that will just ridiculously boost the charisma stat off of it, which, honestly, I would prefer more int. But our blueberries are ready, so we're going to go ahead and harvest these, and then immediately put one back in. As you see, it gave us 5, and then putting one back in, we still have 4, and our other blueberries up here are, of course, ready as well, since we did, in fact, plant them at the same time. So we'll go ahead and harvest and replant here. How many is this going to give us? That gave us 6. I know it can give us up to 8, so it's a pretty good thing. All right, replant. That'll give us more. I'm going, I think, to make 1 with the blueberries, just to see if it's basically acting the way I think it will. All right, so I've needed 2 of these, right? All right, so I'm gonna need some water. I'm gonna need some honey. Well, sweetener. The sweetener I have is the honey, so I should have water in my... Yeah, I have water in my canteen, so that's fine. Alright. Craft 1. Alright, let's see. What do we got? Okay. Hang on, let me look at this again. Okay, yeah, so that's an intelligence +2 hit it theoretically has. And what this has done is give us intelligence +2 and intelligence +1 as possibilities. Together, they're about the same as the charisma. That's less than ideal. I was hoping it would be more, because we also can make other things from these blueberries. Alright, so this is fruit or berry? I'll think about it. The snow won't last super long once winter stops, but it will last a little while. If we had a cellar, it would last longer, but we don't have to make the remainder of this second, is kind of what I'm getting at. Alright, let's go ahead and eat this sorbet. Fruit sorbet. I want to see you. There we go. Yeah, I've been eating some food. As you can see, my energy level is fairly low because I've also been doing a bunch of tasks. I can always pull some of these, like the persimmon and the green apples, see what that gives us. That's probably a good idea. Let's go ahead and eat one of these. It was not enough to give us a full attribute because, well, we're up against, 40, total 30, yeah, we're basically up against 42 at the moment because that's our constitution, which has skyrocketed past the rest. Intelligence, I have managed to get even with my will and psyche, so those 3 are currently our lowest. We have room on the charisma, which is why I was like, okay, the sorbet will work. Yeah, let's grab a couple of them, and then we'll grab... Oh no, this is each one. So, oh yeah, you know what? Fine. We'll do this. Oh, you know what? I might want to remove the blueberries from my inventory, otherwise it'll probably try to use them. I have another cupboard here, because I was starting to run out of space. I need to put a bunch of cupboards in the other building too, but haven't quite gotten to it yet. Of course, here I am messing around with food when that is not the primary thing we're going to be doing today. I just kind of wanted to clear some of this stuff out. But, alright, let's just go ahead and do this. Craft all. Alright, so let's see. Fruit survey. Okay, so that's int, and it's also got the agility. Well, the agility on that is the same as the charisma. This one is also int from the green apple. Okay. So I'm going to want to grab a bunch of the green apples, I think, because that will be a relatively easy way to do that. Now, normally, wow, my throat all of a sudden this morning. One moment. Okay. The green apples are normally perception, but put into this recipe they become int. So I'm okay with this. We'll put. Now let's put these two away because I don't want to use that at the moment. I will, I believe, however, eat some of these. It went charisma. That's annoying. But okay, it's fine. Green apples. Do I go ahead and just make the rest? You know, I'll leave it sit for a little bit. I'll let it sit for a little bit. We do have other things that we want to make. Of course, one of the things here, so you can see I've got this green, I've got a new thing on the sausages. I found outside my gates a dead fox and went and butchered it, and right now the hide is curing. But that means I discovered the fox meat, which means I can make foxwurst, which is perception and intelligence, or I can make running rabbit, which is agility and intelligence. Haha. I think I'm going to make running rabbit because, as you see, it takes 1 fox meat, 1 rabbit meat, whereas the foxwurst takes 2 fox meat. So we'll get more out of making the running rabbit, I think. Because I've got 3. So if I can find 3 rabbit in my mess of disorganized stuff, do I have any rabbit? That becomes a question. I thought I had a bunch. I don't. I must have used it for something. Unless I've completely missed it and I'm going to have to go over everything again. Nope, that's mutton. That's more mutton. Okay, well, I think I will just go ahead and save the fox for once I have some more rabbit. But I'm going to go ahead and click on these in order to get them to stop bugging me about, hey, you have a new thing. And we'll move on. I am going to need some more food. Oh, there is one more food before we get into what we're actually doing today. I say, like almost 9 minutes into, the recording, and, like almost a third of the length of the video. All right, so the cheese rack that we put outside is done. We have the pecorino, which I don't know if that's a real cheese or not, but that is strength and charisma. So let's go ahead and get these sliced up. Each one only makes 2, because that's just the way that is. Can I put these empty ones back in? I cannot. Alright, so I'm going to need someplace to store these. That's okay, I just made a new cupboard that I have in the other building, and I'll go store them there. But yep, as you can see, it is strength and charisma. It's only 100 energy, which I think is actually part of why people like using the cheeses, not just because you can get pretty much any stat from it if you make it right, but it's also low energy, so you can eat a lot of it without feeling like you're wasting it. But we're going to stick all of this in there for the moment. Do I want to eat something before I head down into what we're doing? I probably should. My energy's fairly low. What do we got that'll give us some energy? That will definitely work. Of course, I think, yeah, I've got some room on, like, some wiggle room on the strength. I was definitely trying to get my strength up because there was some stone that just wasn't cutting. You are currently queued up to try to hit an intelligence thing. Do I have any intelligence stuff here? The candy apple? Darn, it went charisma. It did it again. Oh well. Alright, of course I also need psyche. How is my liver and onions looking? Yeah. We'll eat a couple of those. There we go. We got a point of psyche. And I'm feeling much better about my energy level. So I think we'll call that there. And head into the mines. Because as you recall, one of the additional places we want to make cheese is in fact the mines. Alright, and as you can see, I have put a bunch of logs down here. So I think you know where this is going. I'm going to start by chopping some of these up into blocks. I have made sure that I have my metal, tinker's axe on me so that I will get more blocks out of the log. Because a metal axe gives you more than, just a stone one would. And we're going to need to go up and we're going to go build. And we want fences, walls and fences. Palisade. Alright, so if I want the center of my gate here, which I do, I'll eventually widen this out. Then we want to go to that way so that I can go to that way. So right there is where I need to put my initial palisade. And we're going to go ahead and get all of the blocks into it first, I think. Oh, it put the rope that was on my belt in. That is mildly annoying, but I was going to make 5 ropes anyway, so I guess I'll just replace it. I'll just have to do it at the end. Alright, let's go ahead, just kind of do this. As you can see, this is going to be energy intensive. We need 10 leather. Well, I've got that. I have more than that, because I have been continuously processing not just the bat leather, but also the sheep leather. So that is taken care of. I will just need to go grab it. We are going to need to get the bone glue, but we have plenty of bone. In point of fact, since we have used up that first log, let's go ahead and get the stuff we need from upstairs. And this is not the only thing we are going to be doing today, because putting a palisade down there, the palisade will eventually decay. And we don't want that. Alright, I have grabbed 20 bones, because I need 2 bone glue. I am grabbing my matches, which there are only 2 left in this box, but that's okay, we have 2 more boxes. And let's get the old cauldron alit. There we go. Open. And let's see about making some bone glue. Craft, processing of materials, bone glue. Craft all. 1 and 2. There we go. And we can just put that right back out. Doesn't make that much of a difference. Alright. Let's put our singular match away. And we need rope. Oh, and the leather. Let's grab the leather, because before I forget. Alright, so 1, 2, and half of that. Well, we'll just grab that, and we'll grab the next lowest one. There we go. That is 10 leather. And I still have some left. I still have 3 pieces left. I might have to start making some additional stuff. Do I have gloves? I have not made my gloves yet. That might be a thing to do. Rope. So for rope, naturally, we are going to need fibers. I'm going to just grab the hemp here. Because even though I have recently harvested the flax and have a whole bunch, that is like 94 quality, whereas the hemp is 47. And we do not need quality rope for this. We just need rope to exist. I need 4. So I can just grab this stack and put 5 of it away. and that should do right. Which means I should be able to just come right over here to our old rope walk, which we're going to need to replace. That's 24 quality, but we don't need quality at the moment. So we are then going to go down into sewing and fabric, rope, craft all. And as we do that, that is going to be just fine. We are going to want to do... Alright, so I'm going to get... I think I will get the first piece of palisade in. Get it prepared for the gate, maybe get the gate itself in, and then we'll do the second thing we're doing, which is going to be just as important. And that thing is putting a claim down there. Because both the claim and the palisade have dry time, and it's also an instance of neither one is going to really help without the other. There's a little bit of help from the palisade, there's a little bit of help from the, claim, but you really gotta have both. Alright, let's get these guys in. As you can see, basically prepping for a second set of palisade is a lot easier than doing it the first time. It's exactly the same stuff, but having that initial protected area just makes it, so much easier to do the actual prep work. So, alright, let's get this batch in, and then I think I will do a quick pause and come back once I'm ready for the next step, I believe. Seems like a good idea to me. Alright, I will be back once this piece is finished being built. Alright, we're back. I am just about finished with this piece here. Should finish it up right here. And that first palisade piece is always the most expensive thing. So we're going to say prepare for gate. I'm going to go right there. Bam. Just kind of get that started. Because I also want to go extend to there. I don't know if it'll let me do that. Can I... Gonna do this. Nope, I'm occupying that space. Can I do it like this? I gotta step touch further out. Okay, good. There we go. Alright, I got one piece in each. And that's kind of how this is gonna go. I do want to see something, though. Okay, that does kind of work. It's just not the right spot for it. I'll probably try it over there. I do want to get a palisade around the two mine holes, because getting a visitor's gate around it, like we do up top, is going to be important in case somebody comes up from underneath. Or even if somebody just comes in and then comes down here, because it'll be a different claim. Speaking of claims... There's a bat right there that I didn't notice till now. Alright. Speaking of claims, I'm going to need to put one down. Let's do this. So let's see. Haven and Hearth, claim land. I think I will go ahead and put it right there. Yeah, I think that's going to be the best spot for it. So I will go ahead and put the 5 logs in. Oh, it's going to put some stone in for me, too, because it was touching it. That's fine. We need a dream and 4 bones. We'll hold off on finishing that for the moment. I need to go ahead and keep working on getting our palisade up. Because currently, there is this entrance in, and technically, there's entrances in along each of these 2 spots here, because I went ahead and mined out into that area, because I'm going to kind of close a little bit of that off too. And that's going to be the area that we occupy down here. Of course, I obviously am going to have to mine out a lot of it still. But once it's closed off, that's a relatively minor matter. minor matter. There we go. Because it'll be safe down here. As safe as, it can get. But gotta get it closed off first. Gotta get it all under claim. This is not something I want to delay because all of this stuff has dry time. The claim will take a certain amount of time before it's considered active. The palisade can theoretically be knocked down by hand until it finishes drying, at which point it takes siege equipment and, good luck getting the siege equipment down here in the mine level. I mean, it's totally doable, but, why bother? There we go. Alright, so this should get that. And I am going to attempt the same type of thing over here. That is as far as it'll let me go. So that means I will, in fact, have to mine out some in order to extend further. Well, no, I might be able to do it from the other side. We'll have to see. All right, let's get one in. That's all I wanted. And we will build visitor gate, because that is important to be a visitor gate again. And chop into blocks, chop more into blocks, give me more blocks. Oh, we just discovered this type of wood, which, oh, okay, good, it loaded in. I was like, that means there could be a crash. Alright, so I'm going to get this gate together at the very least. Maybe get a little bit more, oops, I'm dropping stuff here. Maybe get a little bit more palisade up, and then come back when we're ready to do the claim. Because the initial claim is one thing. Additional claims have some slightly different stuff going on. Only very slightly, but it is worth noting. So I will be back once I'm a little bit further along. Alright, I have used up all of the logs I had prepared, and didn't make it super far. I mean, that first corner post just uses so much, and then I immediately had to go into more corner posts and gates, so it used up quite a bit. But we're working on it. I'm going to try and get over here so that I can also plug that hole with a wall, kind of like I'm got started over there. But for the moment, we are going to finish up our claim, and I did want to kind of look at something. I did end up having to fight that bat that was right here. I just got some nicks and necks. It's stuff that'll go away on its own. So we have 41,261 learning points, and I think I have checked this at the correct time. So we need 4 bones and a dream. Do I have any of the dreams in here? That becomes the question. I do. So I can grab a dream, and hey, look, 4 bones that are relatively low quality that I don't care about. Perfect. So we're going to come down here. I'm going to open that back up again. I will open that back up again in a moment. Alright. So, here we are. 41,261. Build. 37,261. And of course, I got my new Bond of Blood and Soil. It does this for every additional claim after the first. And of course, as you can see, I now have another Bond of Blood and Soil taking up a spot in my study, area. So you kind of need to be picky about your claims. Obviously, I could have about 4 claims personally before I would start to worry about it. But it is something to keep in mind. It's definitely a little bit easier when you're working with a group. That way you could all be like, oh, I'll just each use my first claim on a level or something like that. But people also are going to want to go and claim other areas as well. Like if you find, something in particular. I've seen little small claims in the wild covering certain things. So it is something to kind of keep an eye on. All right, so we're going to want to expand this tiny little thing, and we might as well do it right now. So let's just kind of get ourselves... I'm going to get to the edges. Ultimately, I want to be one past, but if I can get things covered right now, that's going to be a sufficient start. All right, let's go ahead and buy that, get that kind of done. All right, and we're still sitting at 26,000 something. This is why I couldn't do this last time, is because I wanted to have that druidic right, and I was not certain how much of this was going to take. This is also going to be a good way for me to determine exactly where my endpoint is going to be, which you can see I didn't really have planned yet. But this will give me a nice straight line to work from. Let's buy that, because it's going to be at least there. I can go one more and avoid having to get that beforehand. I will have to take out the stalagmite there. There we go. So, okay. That is basically going to be the area. I will probably extend one more tile in each direction once I have my palisade up, just to kind of give a little bit of a buffer. But I think that's good. Yeah, so we still have 23,471. Good. Now, of course, as you see, this is inactive. It says 7 hours, 16 minutes until enabled. I think that's real time. I'm not 100% on that, because I think it's a full day in-game for the claim to be active. So it is vulnerable right now. It is also vulnerable because anyone with enough strength, even once it's active, if they've got enough strength and the vandalism skill, they could just come in and destroy it. That's why you want to have things protected by the palisade. I think that is about all I really had planned. I do want to look at one thing here, though, since we've got this. I could put that right there. That, it's not ideal placement. But having this there is better than not. Oh, and they let us place place corner posts right next to corner posts now. So that should work out okay. It'll just end up using more wood, is the only real thing. So I'm going to work off camera to get this palisade up and the palisade up around here. And basically, the reason I want to extend it off of this one rather than just building my own is because I don't want to have to waste a whole bunch more leather and bone and, you know, all that, and rope in order to start a new one in a specific spot. That's why it's like, it's a little bit better to just do it and, you know, get that done. And of course, I'm going to have to go get the stone to do the tiles. That's just this stone, because I've got a whole bunch of it to mine out. And I think, yeah, that's pretty much it. So hopefully when we come back, this area will be secured, with any luck. And we'll pretty much be ready to start making cheese down there, in addition to all of the other stuff we're going to want to do on the mine level. It does mean, however, that very soon we're going to have to go on the search for copper. We have tin. We have tin in quantity that it doesn't matter. But we need hard metal, and the first hard metal we can get is bronze, which means we need copper, and a lot of it, because you use twice as much copper as tin. And copper isn't on the first mining level. It's down on the second. Fortunately, we have a hole that goes down there already. We're just going to have to locate some. But we'll get into that next episode. So, until next time, have a good one.